Many people reach a point in life where everything feels unbearable. The bills keep piling up, debt grows, relationships strain, health declines, and no matter how hard they try, they feel trapped with no way out. In such desperate times, people often look for answers everywhere. They go to churches, temples, spiritual teachers who can give them hope or a way to change their situation. But too often, the advice they receive feels powerless. They're told to simply endure, to accept suffering as destiny, to wait for some unknown future moment when things might get better. But is that really the only option? What if there was a way to face even the most hopeless crisis and completely change the direction of your life? The Diamond Sutra, one of the most profound teachings of the Buddha, offers this possibility. It is not just a religious text to chant, it is a tool that can break the chains of fear, despair, and even the seemingly unbreakable destiny that life sometimes imposes on us. Imagine being in a situation where your financial life has collapsed. Perhaps you've lost your job, debts are crushing you every day, feels like drowning in problems. Society tells you to accept it. Maybe you blame your past choices or even think fate has cursed you. This is the same kind of thinking that has trapped people for thousands of years, believing that suffering is fixed, permanent, a punishment that cannot be escaped. But the Diamond Sutra reveals a completely different truth. Suffering has no solid foundation. It only feels real because we are deeply convinced that the situations we face are absolute and unchangeable. The sutra teaches that everything we experience is like a dream, an illusion created by countless causes and conditions. When we recognize this, the power that pain and problems hold over us begins to break. There is a story from the time of the Buddha about two monks who made terrible mistakes, breaking vows and falling into despair. They believed there was no hope left for them, that their destiny was sealed, that no matter what they did, they were condemned to endless suffering. Even great spiritual teachers of that time could only tell them, "You are beyond saving." But one enlightened lay practitioner, known as Vimalakirti, told them a radically different message. What you call sin, what you call punishment, what you call destiny is nothing but a false idea, a misunderstanding of reality. When you see clearly that these things have no solid existence, you are instantly free. The Diamond Sutra carries this same liberating wisdom. Think about your financial problems, your personal worries, your feelings of failure. They seem heavy, unchangeable, crushing. But they are like clouds in the sky. They appear solid, yet they are only temporary formations, empty of fixed nature. The sutra trains the mind to see this truth. By reading it, reciting it, reflecting on its meaning, every day, you begin to loosen the grip that fear and despair have on you. Slowly, the impossible begins to change. When you no longer believe your problems are absolute, new paths open. You make choices you never imagined before. You act with clarity instead of panic. Opportunities appear because your mind is no longer chained by hopelessness. Even when the situation outside has not yet changed, inside you, discover freedom, courage, and confidence. There is another powerful example that helps explain this teaching. Imagine you are crossing a railway bridge, and suddenly a train is rushing toward you. There's no escape, nowhere to go. You believe you're doomed. That is how most of us feel in crisis. But the Diamond Sutra tells us that life is like a dream. If you wake up and realize it's a dream, the fear vanishes. The threat loses its power. In real life, waking up means realizing that every struggle, even poverty or emotional pain, does not have a permanent, unchanging essence. Once you see this, you are no longer trapped. This is not just philosophy. People who deeply practice the Diamond Sutra experience real transformations. They overcome depression, find new ways to earn a living, rebuild broken relationships, and discover unexpected solutions to lifelong problems. The sutra works because it removes the deepest obstacle, the belief that suffering is unchangeable and final. Modern science claims that our DNA, our upbringing, our past mistakes define our future. It predicts what diseases we will have, how long we will live, even what jobs we will succeed or fail at. But the Diamond Sutra points to a truth beyond all science. The mind is free, reality is fluid, destiny can be rewritten. When you no longer cling to fixed ideas of failure, poverty, or punishment, you stop creating the chains that hold you down. New causes bring new results, and your life can shift in unimaginable ways. I have seen this in my own journey. I was told I was weak, destined to fail, unable to achieve anything in life. But through the wisdom of the Diamond Sutra and the guidance of true teachers, I learned that none of these labels were real. They were illusions, like smoke. that disappears the moment you see it for what it is. The sutra gave me the power to break free from despair, to change my mind, my actions, my life. If you are facing financial hardship, loneliness, illness, or any unbearable problem, you do not have to stay trapped. The Diamond Sutra is not magic. It will not throw money into your hands, but it will give you something far greater: the wisdom to see through false limitations and to unlock possibilities you never imagined. Read it, recite it, let its meaning sink into your heart. Over time, you will begin to feel lighter, freer, less afraid. And from that freedom, real solutions, real opportunities, real happiness will begin to grow. This is how even the worst crisis, even a moment that feels like the end, can become the doorway to a new life. The Diamond Sutra is a timeless guide to breaking free from suffering and discovering the strength and abundance that already exist within you.